Good afternoon. And welcome to everyone who's joining us on the internet. It's always nice to be able to go someplace and get stimulating new ideas to make your mind feel like it's alive. And of course, the more radical they are, the more stimulated you feel. But you know what? It's not really your mind I'm interested in stimulating. In other words, it's not your mind that I want to have end up feeling stimulated. It's your behavior that I want you to feel stimulated. You see, you're already home. You are in the middle of the ultimate right now. Heaven, or whatever you want to call it, isn't something in the future after you die. It's the state of being that you are experiencing right now. Now, if I give you all kinds of stimulating ideas that you can cogitate about and work around and look at from all different angles, it doesn't do you much good if it doesn't cause you to be differently. If it doesn't cause you to be conscious differently. If it doesn't cause you to be present in your world with a new kind of attention. A kind of attention that involves looking with curiosity to see what of the ultimate you've been missing because you've been so busy with your stimulating ideas. You are the ultimate, existing in the ultimate right now, but behaving as though all you are is what you think you are and what you've been taught you are. And so you sort of exist by rote. You exist by following the rules. You exist like a robot. And you behave according to your programming, that which has been given to you and that which you have figured out for yourself. And as a result, you're not alive to the moment you're in with an attentiveness to the ultimateness of it. Because you never get past the program that you and the world have established. Now, this isn't anything I haven't said before, but you all hear what I say, and then slip back into your habit, and you forget to look with innocent eyes. And you become crotchety, and you become fidgety, and you become fussy, and you become persnickety, and you exist in this state of vital tension, enacting habitual patterns of behavior and habitual patterns of paying attention. And so those who are persnickety look at everything with an expectation of finding something that needs to be corrected or something that needs to be brought into better order. And so you see what you're looking with. You see with the mindset you're using. When the call is for you to get out of mindsets entirely, so that you don't look at anything out of habit. You look at it with simple curiosity and expectation to find something you haven't seen before. Excuse me. Now, what has to sink in deeply is not only that you exist in the ultimate, which we can call the kingdom of heaven, but even that you have concepts of. And so that's one of the reasons I'm using the word ultimate. Not only do you exist in the ultimate, you are already the ultimate of whatever you have imagined you will become. Now, let's be perfectly clear. I do not mean that you, as you perceive yourself at this moment, are the ultimate. I'm saying that you are far more than you are conceiving yourself to be at this moment. And at this moment, you are the ultimate. Believing that you aren't, behaving as though you aren't, choosing to look at everything as though you aren't, and choosing to define yourself as though what you aren't, but what you believe you are, is capable of coming up with a healthy, sane definition of yourself. Right now, you are everything that the word Christ means. Now, if you're in the ultimate, and if you are the ultimate, then what are you waiting for? I mean, why would you wait to see the kingdom of heaven when you die? Why would you expect illumination to infill you at some future time? If it's the fact, if the fact of you right now, with a capital F, is available to you to experience right now, you must watch yourself and break this habit of engaging in life on the basis of your old programming. You really must begin to practice, for lack of better words, conscientious consciousness, where you're conscientiously paying attention all day long, where you, for example, ask yourself, if I were coming from a place of excellence with a capital E, well, let's say royal excellence, ultimate excellence, if I were coming from a place of excellence in me, how would I handle this situation? How would I respond to so-and-so? What would be the response to this demand that would constitute a blessing for me and for everyone else involved. If you will remember to ask yourself that question frequently during the day, it will get you out of the habit. It will get you out of your programming. But in order to get yourself successfully out of your programming, you've got to accept two premises. One is that you already are the ultimate of what you could ever possibly become, and you're already existing in the ultimate, but unconscious of it because you're not bringing any curiosity into play. Now, it doesn't matter how many radically highfalutin, stimulating ideas you have to think about in your mind. If your behavior doesn't begin to change, it doesn't mean shit. I don't care how lofty or spiritual these ideas are. The truth isn't something to think about, it's something to be transformed by. It isn't something to be stimulated by. It's something to be. So, whatever questions you're going to ask today, as you're asking them, I want you to ask yourself, what part have I been playing in the development or creation of this situation that I am experiencing a need about that causes me to have a question? How much of the difficulty around the situation has been caused by my tendency to see myself as not being the ultimate, and to see that the situation is happening in a world that is not the ultimate, and that it involves others who also aren't the ultimate. And of course, you have plenty of proof that they aren't the ultimate. You come prepared with defense of how unlike the ultimate they are, as defense for your claim that you have a legitimate problem. Now, you are not the creator of others' limited perceptions of themselves. But when you have a limited perception of yourself, it does absolutely color the way you experience the world. And it colors your ability to see any excellence in your brothers. If indeed you do manage to have just the slightest bit of recognition of the excellence of another, because you don't see the excellence in you, their excellence will be something you will be jealous of. So what kind of gift is that? The acknowledgement of the excellence of another that you feel jealous about. That's not really a true acknowledgement. It's not really a true gift given in acknowledgement of the truth of another. So, if you cannot conceive of the possibility that you already exist in the ultimate, and that you yourself already are the ultimate of what you are capable of being, if you cannot accept that, if you cannot accept those two fundamental points, you are indeed stuck in whatever definitions you've made up about existence and about yourself. And that is the dream. That is the miserable state of existence that you all want to become free of, and which you're quite confident you would be free of if these other bastards and this conflicted world that you lived in would just straighten up. Now, I've said this. I don't want you to take what I've said and begin to use it against yourself. I don't want you to take it so that you can say, wow, what's wrong with me that I'm not seeing the ultimate? What are the reasons I don't see that I am the Christ? Don't take the negative and pursue it and elaborate on it and study it. I want instead for you simply to recognize that you're not awake yet, but I've just told you that you're totally capable of being awake without dying to get into that state of mind, that you're in the ultimate now, and that you are the ultimate of what you thought you could be in the future, right now. And then bring your curiosity and your full attention to that. Don't pursue whatever reasons there might be for your not experiencing it yet. If you imagine that there is a path home, a long path, of course. If you imagine that there is a path, and along this path you are to find out all the reasons that you're not at home yet, you will find settlements developing along the path where everybody stops to explore why they're not at home yet. When anybody looking at it says, well, it's because you're camped. You're not moving. You're not engaged in anything that is going to get you to the end of the road. So this isn't about a study of your psyche and your mental habits, your bad habits. No. I hesitate to talk more about this because there are really, again, just two key points of realization that need to occur. The first one is you're already in the middle of the kingdom of heaven. There's nothing but the ultimate, and therefore nothing but the ultimate is confronting you. Nothing else is in your face. And that which has the face is also already the ultimate. But you know, at the bottom line, you've got to care enough about experiencing the ultimate to let your behavior change and stop reinforcing the behaviors that keep you from experiencing the glory of what's in your face. as well as the immovable piece of your being, the invincibility of your being, the ever-presence, the omnipresence of your being that constitutes the absence of conflict and threat. For lack of better words, it's time, it's really time to let the new in, new to you, but the eternal, that which has always been. It's time to let it in, and it's got to be let in right in the middle of your mundane daily life, because all there is truly to your mundane daily life is the kingdom of heaven seen through squinted eyes. Okay. Who dares to have a question? The lady behind Michael. Yes.
Lately, I've been curious about orbs, and I've taken photographs of them after meditation or before, and I wonder if there are any in here.
You're wondering what?
Orbs. If there are any orbs in this room that are kind of observing. Just curious.
Yes, there are.
Oh.
Yes.
Have you ever photographed them?
This is me, Paul. Are you asking Raj if he's
No,
ever
you has Paul ever photographed them?
No, I haven't.
Would that be interesting to photograph them here? For the whole?
Sure.
Because I haven't seen any. I've looked through my camera, the digital camera, I didn't see any before. And so I have another question about...
I do want to say that in addition to that, for lack of better words, there are particles of light dancing, you might say, moving in the room. And I do mean as though there is a congregation of them, a greater density of them than outdoors or in other areas at this time. Whenever there are those gathered together who truly are interested in what I described in my opening statements, there are always those expressions of intelligence that gather to participate, to join in. These particles of light could appropriately be defined as the adamantine particles, which some of you may be familiar with. Continue with your next question.
Well, I have taken pictures of orbs. They seem to be stronger when there is moisture in the air. And sometimes I can take them, and sometimes there is nothing there. And there's also plasmoids. And I understand that there are also observers that are from, others are beings that have died and have taken this form. And that we all look actually like that, even now, in our state of being. But I would like to, is there any recipe of how to approach this better?
There really is no better way to approach it than
What I'm doing?
curiosity,
Yeah.
conscious curiosity. And I want to take a moment here because whether you're a student of A Course in Miracles, whether you're a student of another religion, whether you're a student of of esoteric philosophy or teaching, it's very easy to become molded into the verbiage and the concepts involved in the teaching. And even though each one who has become devoted to a teaching has become devoted to it because it seems to be the ultimate to them, all-inclusive, you nevertheless become bound by the verbiage and the concepts so that you're not open to such things as orbs or adamantine particles or other things that weren't talked about in the teaching, but are part of reality. It's very important, as you open up to the ultimate, to let go of your preconceptions of what the ultimate must be because the teaching says it's so, no matter how far forward that teaching is in terms of a clear expression of truth. Does everyone understand that? You must not lose your curiosity to see and experience what you have no idea of yet. If you have some idea of what it must be because A Course in Miracles says it, and what it must not be because A Course in Miracles never said it, you have lost your innocence of attention. You've lost your capacity to be curious, to have God reveal to you what God is being from God's point of view. And you can't afford to lose that fundamental innocence, that beautiful fundamental innocence and curiosity that you see embodied in a baby 3 hours old. You know, many of you probably think that if you listen for your guide is going to sound like Paul's guide. Well, good luck. Because if your guide doesn't sound like me, you're going to discard it, whatever it is that comes to you. Why? Because you have a preconception, you have a mindset. You're already still stuck. Of course, it makes you more secure to think that your guide will talk like the Course in Miracles or will talk like Raj, because then you don't really have to be prepared for the unexpected, you know. Find that explorer capacity in you. Find that child in you